I'd like to welcome you to the Tuesday, March 12th meeting of the Griffin City Commission. I'm making the call to order, and our invocation will be by Commissioner Holberg, and our pledge to the flag will be by Kendall Wilson of Troop 77. If you will all stand.
Bow our heads, please. Father, we are here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Go ahead. You can ask us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doug, you want to say what he's working on for the audience to know?
This young man's with Troop 77. A couple others are supposed to be joining us, and he's working on his citizenship in the community and communications merit badge. One of his requirements for both is to come to a public meeting and do a report on that. So glad to have you tonight.
We're very glad to have you. Okay, at this time we're going to recognize Perry Sollenberger of the Electric Department as the February 2013 Strongest Link. Bill Bosch will address.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How's everybody tonight?
That's great.
Yeah. If we could we have Perry and Wayne come forward, please? Oh, you're already here. This is something that is it's just fantastic to me. Perry, if you don't know, we have two people that do this position and locates all the underground facilities in the area, and it is a full-time job for two people. His counterpart, Eric, has been out for almost 6 months with a double hip replacement. He's had one hip, and now he's doing another hip. We had discussed how the heck we were going to handle this, and we really didn't know if we were going to have to do contracted services or what we were going to have to do. But Perry, I don't understand how you do it. I think you probably cloned yourself. Work through lunch, work evenings, work mornings. And we have two very large DOT projects going, plus just taking care of Mr. Keller is a full-time job. So, so I want to give special thanks to this month's link in the chain, and also he works for Mr. Wayne Jones, and they do a great job, Mr. Perry Sollenberger.
You want to get a picture there?
Hold your pipe there. Oh, Mr. Jones can get it in. You don't have a wide enough lens for this thing. Also, Perry, here is a gift certificate for you and special thanks. And Mr. Jones, I'll carry yours back. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to consider a proclamation of recognition of Private First Class Bobby L. Byers, U.S. Army, June the 6th, 1932 to December the 12th, 1950.
Madam Chair, I move we approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. If the Byers family would please come forward, we would be honored to present this.
Thank you, Joanne.
We're honored to be able to do this. We talked about this when the community recognized Bobby a month ago. We did not present our proclamation at that time. We had an error in it, and we wanted to correct that. And I thought, well, this is the appropriate time anyway, because Bobby was a citizen of the city of Griffin. So if you all will bear with me, and I will read this, and I know that you've read them many times, but it says, proclamation PFC Bobby Leighton Byers was the middle of three brothers. His older brother, Bud Byers, served in World War II, returned home, and then rejoined the Army. His youngest brother, Charles Byers, attended Griffin High School and was an avid football player. And whereas at the age of 17 years, Private First Class Bobby Byers joined the local unit of the National Guard in 1949. A year later, as the Korean War erupted, both he and older brother Bud were stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, and both were sent to Korea. Private First Class Bobby Byers became a member of Company M, 3rd Battalion, 31st Infantry, Regiment 7 Infantry Division. While they never met in Korea, both men saw action. And whereas the U.S. Army reported that Private First Class Bobby Byers was missing in action on December 12, 1950, while fighting the enemy in North Korea, his brother Bud Byers made it home, but Bobby Byers did not. The official Army report indicated that Private First Class Bobby Byers was killed in the area of Yalu River in North Korea near the Chinese border. Approximately 3 years later, on December 31st, 1953, PFC Bobby Byers was presumed dead. And whereas, after more than 6 decades of living in uncertainty at the fate of Bobby Byers, his family received word that his remains had been released by North Korea, returned to the United States, and positively identified through the DNA matches of 2 living relatives. Additionally, researchers were able to confirm with certainty that PFC Bobby Byers was never a prisoner of war, details that were important to the family. And whereas Private First Class Bobby Byers was awarded the Purple Heart, Combat Infantry Badge, the Korean Service Medal, the United Nations Service Medal, the National Defense Service Medal, the Korean Presidential Unit Citation, and the Republic of Korea Service Medal. And whereas on February the 14th, 2013, the remains of Private First Class Bobby Byers were scheduled to arrive in Atlanta from Honolulu. And under guard from Fort Benning, Georgia, the Griffin Police Department and the Starling County Sheriff's Office escorted Byers' remains to his hometown of Griffin. An Army blanket, a fresh uniform, an American flag, along with his many medals, accompanied his coffin. And therefore, I encourage all citizens to recognize the valor and sacrifice of Private First Class Bobby Byers and the freedoms that we cherish because of our veteran service and sacrifice. In witness thereof, I herein consent my hand and cause the seal of the City of Griffin to be affixed this 14th day of February 2013. Joanne Todd, Chairperson, City of Griffin Commission, Kenny L. Smith, City Manager, attest. It's with honor that we do this. If you don't mind, I'd like for our entire board to come down and have a picture, because this is a proclamation from the City Commission of the City of Griffin.
Chair, do you want the agenda, amend the agenda before we go further?
Yes, please.
Madam Chair, this time I move we amend the agenda by adding item number 12, and for the record I quote, "Consider approval of a resolution to submit the 2013 Community Development Block Grant application for $500,000 to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs to make public infrastructure improvements in the Northeast Griffin low-income area, Zone 5.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second to amend the agenda? Second. All right, and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is amended. Thank you.
One abstention.
One abstention.
One abstention.
Okay. All righty. At this time, we will review financials for January 2013. Director of Administrative Services, Marcus Swab, will address.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners.
Good evening.
All right,
Good
first-
evening.
Good evening, yes. First item on the list is the cash balance report. And the item that stands out there is obviously the solid waste cash position, and that is a timing issue on the books, and the cash has transacted, and that balance has been covered. And it's the timing of when we actually issue checks versus when we transfer money at the bank. So this is a book entry, not a bank entry.
I have three questions.
Yes, sir.
All right, first one, we have a CDBG grant, cash for 2012 listed here on the cash report, but there's no 9 and no 10 CDBG grants. Are there not still monies in those accounts?
No, sir. Those monies have been spent. And
All
if
of
we have, well, there's two components to that. There's the money that we receive from the grant award, and then there's the city match. So we're close to closing out these grants anyway. So
Because on pages 7 and 8 and the other one, it shows a gain in assets for the year end, but those have been dispersed this year then.
the item that you're seeing there on, I believe you're referring to the fund statements,
Yes.
the income and expense. That's a function of the money that was recognized versus the expenses that were incurred.
Understand, but
Yes, sir.
Since then, we basically used up these funds.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second question. I notice on the TADS statements, receipts on page 15 and 16 of the interim statements,
Yes, sir.
we have no separate cash balance for the TADS, and are they not accounted for in separate funds?
Let me go back to that. Hold on one second.
So I didn't know where that money was.
It should be in, it
There is.
should. Okay, let me get there. All right. We have that money sitting in a TAD fund. If we have, and that is, I'll have to check on that, because
Because it's not.
you got me on that one. You got me on that one. I see what you're saying,
Okay.
and I need to review that. You got me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's not gotcha, I'm just curious.
No, I'm surprised that we don't have that listed, and I may have that combined in another fund, and I need to follow up on that, sir.
That's my question, thank you.
Yes, to answer the question directly, yes, we do have those funds segregated. Why it's not appearing on the report, I need to check on that, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Okay, very good. Thank you, Marcus.
Uh,
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
On here, intersections and signals, that should be 2013 rather than 2012.
Yes, I've since corrected that, and the document that is posted on the website now shows fiscal year 2013. To be more specific, we're referring to the SPLOST schedule of projects, the annual report. It says FY12 above. We initially used that document to update per the law for disclosure for fiscal year 2012. We've since updated that for 2013 and omitted the change in the title.
I know you're pleased that we read this.
Yes, thank you.
That's a lot of figures.
Yes.
Any other questions? Are you all satisfied?
Well, are we moving on to the interim statements?
If you'd like to do that, sir, well, we've sort of jumped around a little bit, and that's not a problem. We can keep up here. Okay, so we've covered the cash balance report. Are there any other questions on the cash balance report? Okay, local option sales tax report. That's the one that shows the lost above and the splost. Any questions on that document? Okay, hearing none. We've addressed Mr. Morrow's question and Mr. Bea's question regarding the splost annual report. And the next item, I guess, will be the Bank of New York statement.
And I like that SPLOST summary report. That's a good addition there.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do too.
The Bank of New York statement, is that a document you would like to continue to see, or is that something that
It's pretty boring. It's all,
it's just the bank statement?
It doesn't give us a breakdown of what funds it is.
No, sir.
so, and basically, everything is in, federal notes, Treasury cash reserve, so
Yes, sir.
it's not very exciting reading.
Sorry. Okay, moving on to the interim statements by fund. Any questions on this document? This is the first page is a summary of the citywide operations, and then the detail is behind there.
On
by
the
fund. Yes.
February check you received from the county on property tax,
Yes, sir.
do you have an estimate of how much, where you're at right now, including February? Here you're showing
I believe the check was just shy over $1 million for January,
so you had 1.8 million.
February.
Fiscal year to date was property tax was 1.85 million.
Yeah.
So, do you know if you have received another $1 million or $2 million in February?
Bear with me 1 minute. I did run those reports this morning as of February. I do need to get there. So give me 1 second.
This battery crashes, our financials crash, is that right?
Kind of. Not quite, though. I just have to find the email that contains the report. And
That's okay.
So we're way behind where we were, generally speaking, but I know that
The due date was
it's a late due date.
all right, I'm trying to find the document. Okay, here we go. Attachments, and we're looking at the revenue detail. Okay, view. All right, to answer your question, sir, let's go to general fund. And the detail survey says, one thing I've figured out that these things are not quite as accessible as I'd like, this digital stuff.
That's quick as paper.
Okay, at this point in time, as of the statements released this morning for preliminary review, we're at $3.3 million in property tax collections.
Very good.
So we posted $1.9 million for the month of February.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That looks a whole lot better. Any other questions?
I have one question, sir. This is
All
more of a comment, I guess.
Yeah.
Typically, as I track revenues and expenses, we're 58% through the year. So you see our revenues are 58 or hopefully more, and expenses less.
Yes.
But the electric department's 53 revenues and 57 expenses, which is the flip of what you usually see. Or there's something going on in electric we don't know about?
You have, in electric, we have some capital expenditures for the AMI project, plus we have added fuel costs and repairs through some of the combined cycle units, and then those will equalize over time as part of the fuel bills that we receive. So it's built into the MEAG program. However, Mr. Bill Bosch may be better equipped to address the more specific
Sales are
question.
down.
Right. When?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's-
So
I've already asked
it's
about that.
two pronged. It's double pronged. One is the revenue is down, but the other side we do have some expenditures in
expenses
there.
are up for that AMI project.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Make sure I didn't, no, thank you.
No, it's something that we're tracking very close. We had a very, second year of a mild winter. It's something I have been in contact with Mr. Smith quite a bit over the last couple months. We are tracking. We'll take a look at, we have some other revenue year-end settlements, some different stuff coming in. And then we're also, I requested a cost analysis on our PCA or our fuel adjustment costs. So we're going to track it for the next month and make sure that if we need to make a move, we make the correct one. I just don't want to throw the red flag if we don't have to. And last thing, we don't want to affect ratepayers. So Mr. Smith and I are taking a look at it.
Thank you very much.
Hope it gets real hot, real sunny.
We thought it was today, but it didn't.
It will be over the weekend.
All right.
Right. All right, any other questions of Marcus? All right, thank you, Marcus, for your report.
Thank
and
you.
You'll get used to that thing.
Eventually.
Yeah, right. All right, at this time, the chairperson opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The chairperson reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. Having said that, is there anyone on my left who would like to come forward for a public comment? Anyone on my right who would like to come forward? Yes. State your name and address for the record.
My name's Carl Pruitt, and my wife and I reside at 120 Four Oaks Drive in Griffin. On Thursday, February 28th, we just finished a nice lunch on the North Expressway in Griffin. We were traveling back into town on the North Expressway about 2 p.m. As we got to North Expressway and Varsity Road, we were approximately going about 35, 40 miles an hour, and an 18-year-old lady in her father's Ford pickup truck, who was a new student at Southern Crescent Technical College, had been waiting evidently at the stop sign there at Varsity Road for some time for the traffic to thin out. She was from Jonesboro and was wanting to turn left. Just as we got in front of her, she jackrabbited the car out, and my SUV went directly into the door of her Ford pickup truck. We pushed her pickup truck almost into the northbound lane, which could have really been bad. I barely had time to grab my brakes, which locked down, thank goodness, our seat belts. Nobody was hurt. Like to thank the fire department. They had pulled out a truck probably within 45 seconds of the wreck and had the lights going to block traffic so nobody would get hurt. Also, within about 2 minutes, I just thank Chief Strickland. Policewoman Dawn Storm was there in just within 2 or 3 minutes to take care of the accident reports and to make sure nobody was hurt during the wreck. In talking to the young lady, she was a new student. She had just gotten her driver's license, Southern Crescent Technical College, and she was in a hurry. She was tired of waiting on traffic, and she thought she could jackrabbit out in front of us and make it, and she didn't. It dazed her. Her pickup truck rolled almost 100 yards northbound before she actually grabbed the brakes. So we could have had, a really bad accident there. And talking with Chief Jones and some of the people there at the fire station, that happens about once a week there. I would like to ask you as a board, I don't know what the procedures would be, to at the very least try and put a no left turn sign up at that Varsity Road stop sign. It might not be a bad idea to even see about blocking off that road where student traffic would have to go one way or the other to get to a stoplight. Just like to make you aware of that. Diane and I were both kind of beat up. I had to go down to the Macon Heart Clinic today and do some tests because my chest got kind of crashed in with the seat belt, but we're okay. I don't want us to have to wait till a fatality happens there. And with this happening on the average of once a week when we've got students there at Southern Crescent, that's just too much. Thank you for your time.
Right. Dr. Keller, could you address that or give some instruction?
We'll just have to take a look at it again in a couple of years. Gosh, 15 years ago, we were looking at that when there was going to be an improvement in that corridor from Ellis to 16. So we'll take a look at it and see what we can do and make a recommendation to Mr. Smith.
Right, now, would it be our responsibility or DOT?
That's local highway.
Local highway, so
Yes,
it would
ma'am.
be up to us.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Varsity Drive is local. North Expressway is
DOT.
a DOT system, so it's a combination. Chief Strickland and I talked about it this morning after Carl brought it to my attention last night, and we're going to look at some suggested options and pull some statistics and see what the statistics show there. So we are aware and we're looking into it.
Okay, very good, thank you so much. All right, pardon me. We don't have any public hearings this evening. Oh, we do? Oh, we do. I'm sorry, we do have a public hearing. We will receive comments regarding the City of Griffin's request to the Department of Community Affairs for an exception based upon the conflict of interest held by Commissioner Douglas S. Holberg. And Doug has a conflict because of ownership of property in which we hope to improve. He hasn't done anything wrong. So,
Spoken what I'd like to say.
having said that, Taurus, would you like to lead it now?
Yes, I will. Evening, Madam Chairman, members of the Board of Commissioners, Taurus Freeman. I'd like to read this into the record. The City of Griffin is a Community Development Block Grant applicant for 2013 Public Facility Grant in the amount not to exceed $500,000, 24 CFR Part 85 of Section 85.36B3 states that the states in relevant part, no employee, officer, or agent of a guaranteed or sub-guarantee shall participate in the selection or in the award or administration of a contract supported by federal funds if a conflict of interest, real or apparent, would be involved. Commissioner Douglas S. Holberg is a duly convened regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners held March 12, 2013, prior to the submission of an application for the grant being considered, publicly disclosed his or related persons or entities controlled or managed by him owned one or more tracts of real property within the 2013 CDBG target area and voluntarily recused himself from any further involvement regarding CDBG funding. In addition, all commissioners have disclaimed any involvement in the process of selecting the target area for the application. The City of Griffin will petition the Georgia Department of Community Affairs, which administers the CDBG program, to issue an exception for the conflict of interest held by Commissioner Holberg. If the exception is granted, Mr. Holberg will continue to abstain from participating in or voting on any issues related to the 2013 CDBG due to his conflict of interest. CDBG projects must benefit at least 70% low to moderate income persons, aid in the prevention of slum and blight, and meet a community need of particular urgency. Example, in this case, rehabilitating public water and sewer infrastructure. The 2013 target area has been identified through studies as one of the most blighted neighborhoods in the City of Griffin, which is on an inordinately large percentage of housing in rental occupancy. The 2013 CDBG target area was selected by the project engineer, Public Works Department, and Community Development Department with the guidance from the city's grant writing specialist. The members of the Board of Commissioners played no role in its selection. Georgia DCA regulations pertaining to CDBG administration require the city advertise and conduct this public hearing for the purpose of obtaining citizens' involvement in order to complete its review of the city's request for an exception. Persons
on specific advertised issues, and at that time, if anyone has any comments, we welcome you to come forward with those comments. Anyone on my left? Anyone on my right? Thank you, Taurus. All right?
Excuse me, Madam Chairman.
yes.
Also, I have to read this last part.
Right.
A
I wondered
listing-
about that.
A listing of real properties owned or by or under the control or management of Commissioner Holberg by virtue of family or business relationship. Douglas S. Holberg at 431 North 5th Street. M. Douglas Holberg Jr., father, owns 827 Stark Street, 116 Lexington Avenue, 212 Lexington Avenue, 214 Lexington Avenue, 216 Lexington Avenue, and 411 North 6th Street.
Okay. Okay, having heard no comments for this, we'll now go into our consent agenda.
Madam Chair, we have one correction to the minutes supplied by Commissioner Baya. If there are no other corrections, I move we approve the minutes of the workshop and the scheduled meeting of February 26th.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioner McLemore seconded. All those in favor of the minutes, please raise your right hand. Okay, thank you. It is unanimous. All right, now we're going to our regular agenda. The regular agenda includes items on which we will individually consider and possibly take action. Item number 6 is to consider approval to upgrade City of Griffin Windows servers to Microsoft Data Center Windows Server 2012 in the amount of $26,916.76.
Madam Chair, I move we approve this purchase upgrade as presented.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
And it will save us money, so I like those kinds.
Right. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 7, consider approval to amend the City of Griffin's general fund operations and capital budget for fiscal year 2012-2013 in the amount of $8,060 for rock removal, clearing, and grading during the closing of the rock mine located on North 2nd Street.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? Motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 8, consider a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the City of Griffin supporting bicycle and pedestrian travel as an alternate mode of transportation.
Madam Chair, Anthony's going to come and speak, okay?
I'll make a motion.
Just answer
And
the
I'm going to
question.
second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Now, Anthony, are you going to address it in any way?
No, ma'am. It's just the work of the Bike Ped Subcommittee. They've been meeting over the last 6 months and working with Commissioner Holberg has been on the committee. Dr. Keller is on the committee, and we've been in consultation with the city manager about some of the activities that they've been doing, and they really want to get the support of the city behind it.
Okay.
2 weeks, there'll be a bicycle ride to the Capitol, and they're planning to do a bicycle ride to City Hall. So next, in 2 weeks, you'll have bicyclers coming in from different parts of the community riding to City Hall to receive this proclamation. Michelle Cannon's the chairman of this subcommittee, and she'll give a quick little briefing of some of the activities leading into Bicycle Awareness Month and things.
Yes,
I have neighbors that are in this business and own a bicycle shop. Then I have neighbors who ride bicycles, and my oldest son rides a bicycle. And my neighbor, who he's not riding a bicycle now because of his knee, he came over with some friendly advice. He said cyclists should not wear blue or gray. They blend into the asphalt when they wear blue and gray. He said the best outfit to wear is a big yellow shirt with the word Army on your back, and all automobile drivers will give you all the roads you need.
That's a good suggestion.
My son said, tell him I carry a gun when I ride my bicycle.
I think a lot of them do.
I think they do too. But anyway, I thought that was kind of fun. All righty, we have a motion and a second and discussion. All those in favor, if we haven't already voted, please raise your right hand. It is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 9, consider first reading of an ordinance amending the Code of Griffin, Georgia at Chapter 54, Health and Sanitation, Article 1 in general. Section 54.1, adoption of certain rules and regulations so as to adopt and enforce Spalding County Board of Health rules and regulations for body art studios and body artists. City Attorney Drew Whalen will address. Wow.
If you need explanation, you
Make
were
a motion.
requested by the County Board of Health to incorporate their new regulations on tattoo parlors and tattoo artists. Procedure of law is that health boards can pass regulations, and then cities and counties can adopt and enforce those and try violators in our municipal court. So that's all we're doing.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I have a second with a comment.
All right, please go ahead.
I sat through the Board of Health investigation of this and rule. I know Mr. Bayard did too. It's minimally restrictive. I think it's a fair set of regulations. It's not too onerous. But what it does concern me is that regulating them in this fashion, I'm afraid, will drive more underground. We have a fair number of tattoo parlors in the city that are operated in somebody's house, and this is a good effort to sanitize and make sure that the existing ones follow the health rules, but unfortunately, I'm afraid we'll probably have more in somebody's house, so there's always a downside to this.
Right, that's true. We did vote, did we not?
No,
All right,
I also talked with some of the owners of the tattoo parlors, and they feel the same way. But I weighed the health issues against what they were saying, and to me, in my mind, the health issues, I weighed those, so that's why I'm voting.
Do they get a permit from the Department of Labor and a business license from the City of Griffin? Is that the procedure?
They get occupation
Tax. They pay occupation tax here. And we don't regulate ourselves. They'd have to go to the health department to
The health department will inspect them after this.
Right.
This set of rules. I don't think it's been a real problem so far, but the state actually passed a law mandating that the counties regulate them and set some minimum standards. So it's a state mandate this be done. It didn't say how to do it, just said to do it.
Right, we're familiar with that, aren't we? All righty, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous, Alicia. All right, item number 10, consider approval for Commissioner Dick Morris to attend the GMA Board of Directors meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Wait a minute.
Send them out of town.
In Edenton, Georgia, April 18th through 19th, 2013. I have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you.
Get me out of town.
Right.
Make everybody happy.
As much over to East 16 as possible, right? Item number 11, consider cancellation of regular scheduled meeting of the Board of Commissioners on June the 25th, 2013 due to the Georgia Municipal Association Annual Conference to be held in Savannah, Georgia, June the 22nd through the 25th.
I move we approve.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 12, consider approval of a resolution to submit the 2013 Community Development Block Grant CDBG application for $500,000 to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs to make public infrastructure improvements in the Northeast Griffin, Fairmont area, low-income area, Zone 5. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
And do I have a second? Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, we have 6 for and 1 abstention. Thank you. All right, that concludes our meeting. City Manager, do you have a report?
Yes, ma'am, I guess you read in the paper this morning that Commissioner McLemore, Mr. White, and I met with the county yesterday and negotiated a 50-50 split on the final 1/3 of the vehicle ad valorem tax discussed in our last workshop, so we consider that successful. We also have a joint meeting that we're trying to plan with the City County Board of Education to get an update from our housing authority, and sent out an email about a week ago. We have 2 possible dates, the 9th or the 15th. Board of Education prefers the 9th, County Commissioners prefer the 15th.
That's in April?
So it's up to you guys. That's April the 9th or April the 15th, and I've heard from a couple that said it really didn't matter.
Right, and it doesn't.
What night of the week is that night?
I'm not sure.
It's income tax day, isn't it?
15th is my birthday.
Tax day.
No, the 9th is the same day as city commission meeting.
So when would we meet if we did it on the 9th?
Probably a 10 or 2.
A morning.
A morning? Is that a problem? Okay. All right. Do y'all want to say the 9th, the day we have a city commission meeting? That way, we don't have a workshop that morning, so that would be good. Let's do it the 9th.
I will pass that along. The Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee meets again on Friday at noon time. And our Main Street Board is going to have a special call meeting Thursday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And that's it.
All righty. Drew?
I'll just say that Commissioner McLemore is a very shrewd negotiator and brought the county to their needs in short order. I was impressed.
Well, we know that he did us well because we got at least 50-50, so that in itself was really good.
But he said it very astutely in the paper that this misguided law is coming straight out of the pockets of local governments and the school board in particular. The legislators parade around like heroes, but we're taking the brunt of it here trying to.
They're effectively taking our sales tax pennies to fund their formula, which will probably not come back to the original amount that we need. So there's shifts going on.
We're splitting a third. The other entities got a third each, and then the city, the county are splitting a third. So it's 50% of we don't know what.
No, we get part of the second third too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're splitting the second third and the third third, but yeah.
Yeah, but
we
it's
don't
gonna be
know.
pennies.
It's
Yeah.
big up in the air, so.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Ryan, for representing us. Anything else, Drew?
That's all.
Okay. Commissioner Bayet. Am I getting closer? I call the rest of them Commissioner Soin, and I can't pronounce his last name. I am so sorry. I never get it right.
No, everything.
Okay. Commissioner Mara.
A couple things. At our Airport Authority meeting last night, we again discussed creating an intergovernmental agreement with the county to fund the airport. You know, it's never really been signed. We need one because moving forward as we transfer the assets of the airport to the authority, we need to know that both sides are willing to fund their share of the deficit until hopefully a new airport would become profitable. So that's coming forward, I hope. Our attorney hopefully is starting to draw that intergovernmental agreement up. And the good news is we have two very nice candidates, ladies, for the archivist position. And I don't know quite where that stands now, but I get calls steadily now. Folks want to work with the archives and bring stuff, and we're waiting for a part-time archivist on board to open the door. So, and this commission has sort of indicated its willingness to fund it part-time through the year from the contingency fund. That's where a little money is. So that's all moving forward.
Okay. Is that it? Commissioner Holbert. Okay, thank you. Commissioner McNamara.
Okay, on Tuesday, March 26th at 10:30 a.m., if you haven't already been aware of this, the Pro Football Hall of Fame is going to honor Rayfield Wright by presenting him one of the hometown plaques. Sponsored by Allstate, but it's at Griffin High School, so we're trying to get the word out as much as possible.
What day is
Come
that?
join us. It's Tuesday, March 26th at 10:30 a.m.
March 26th.
All right, that's the city commission meeting day, and we
He's going to
normally
be here?
have a workshop that morning.
Suspect so, yeah.
That's what I
They're
assumed.
gonna
It's a nice man.
make a nice little ceremony out of it.
Right. Is that it?
That is.
Cora?
I would be really happy if someone would be able to explain to me why my power keeps going out so consistently.
Squirrel.
No, honey, them ain't squirrels. At first I thought I hadn't paid my bill, but I did. And then when it went out the next day, I'm like, well, I did pay my bill. So if someone would be kind enough to just kind of look and tell me why at least 3 times in the last week I've been without power. It must
You should
be.
live on College Street. You goes out every other day. So
Well, it used to only go out when the train came by, but the train hasn't been coming by lately. And so I need a new explanation. And that's it.
Do you want Bill to get up and address that? I
Oh, no,
know
you
if-
don't have to address it
I don't
today.
even know if he heard it.
Gotta keep Mama happy.
Okay, all right, as long as you take care of Cora, just remember that now. Okay, I appreciate, the Byers family coming in tonight. Like I say, we had received some inaccurate information, and once we give out a proclamation for the city, it's gonna be a permanent record, we want it to be correct, and so that's the reason we felt that we needed to do that this evening. Besides the fact that, it's hard to have a family member away in service. We've got people here that served in Vietnam. My brother served in Korea. My husband served in Korea, and it's something that we need to remember. I visited a military cemetery this past weekend. Just rows and rows and rows of white headstones, beautifully maintained. But people forget what the sacrifice was for us to sit here tonight, for us to conduct business, for us to be a free society. And we owe a debt of gratitude to any and everyone who volunteers or who has been drafted to serve in our military. It's an humbling experience. And I thank you all for being here. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All right, we are.